right? So as I said, architecture is very important. And for you to understand at this stage, the architecturally significant requirements, architecturally significant components, architecturally significant mechanisms that needs to be implemented, it is of paramount importance. That will put you in a different league altogether. And I cannot stress enough on the quality of architecture. It's very important. You can imagine, again, taking an example of that civil structure. If the quality of the architecture is not good, the civil structure will not be maintainable. In case of software also, if the architecture is not of high quality, it will start breaking. The software will start breaking. Architecture is the linchpin of the software. What is a linchpin? You might have seen those bullock carts, right? Those bullock carts. And those bullock carts, they've got big wheels. And there is a big linchpin, and that wheel that holds that wheel together with the cart. So if it's a linchpin, if you remove the linchpin, the wheel of the bullock cart and the entire cart itself will all go haywire. So similarly, here also architecture is the backbone of your software. Any flaw in architecture at a later stage identified will have adverse impact on the software. So we will, as we proceed further, so leads that once you start working on the projects, I'm sure you'll have already started. There are tasks being given to you. And first and foremost, your tasks on the project after my training is done. And then when you complete doing the R&D and the research work and the learning work, whatever time is left out when you work for those 8 hours, when you are working on the project, you all will be given the task of understanding the source code that is already written. That's what you're supposed to do for some more time. So you go through the source code, create a blog out of it, ask Claude.ai to create a blog out of it. You understand what that Claude.ai is explaining with respect to that code. Once you have understood, you put it in our application as a blog. Well, coming back here. So it's very important that you start understanding the architecturally significant things. Now, we have created 2 applications, one in Spring Boot and the other is in, so one is Spring Boot, the other is in Django. What have we done in Spring Boot? We configured Spring Boot with templates, configuration and all that stuff, whatever. We configured Spring Boot and we implemented in Spring Boot. What have we implemented? A very, very simple stuff. What that is? We implemented a component which is called a controller. In Spring Boot, we created a controller. Please recollect. And that controller, from that controller, we implemented a method in that controller actually. And the name of the method was handle customers or something like that, handle get customers. And that handler in this controller class, I repeat, in this controller class, that handler returned a string. Customers. The Spring framework with the time leaf as its library, it picked up the template, the HTML from the templates folder called customers.html. And that got rendered on the browser. So if this is your browser, if this is your machine, and there is a browser open on this machine, and then what you have given in the browser is http://localhost:8080 in case of Spring Boot. So the request lands on your application server on Spring Boot. There is a URL pattern, special pattern over there called /customers. /customers. Okay, /customers. Spring Boot now understands that there is a controller. In that controller, there is a get mapping. Note my words. There is a get mapping. And the path of that get mapping is /customers. It will execute that method. It will see the return value of it. Return value will have some, primary name of the HTML file. It will look for the HTML file in the templates folder and simply render that HTML file here. Take a look. I hope it's the latest. Yes, this is the latest. whatever I just explained, it's the same thing that I'm talking about. We have got Spring Boot as a framework. We have included here in pom.xml file, we have included a library called TimeLeaf. That TimeLeaf library helps me to create .html file in the templates. I created an HTML file in templates on my own, but it is TimeLeaf that is capable of parsing this HTML file. And okay, what that parsing includes, we will come to that later. But in short, it renders this HTML. How does it understand it renders HTML? Because of this controller class, customer controller. This is annotated as @controller. In Python, you call them as decorators. Here, you call them as annotations. Here, there is a method, but that method is also annotated, get mapping. What is a path? /customer. So whenever I give /customers, and then there is a static resource also over here. Static resource, it's a static file. If you want to reach to this, if it is index.html, automatically you will reach to it just by going to localhost 8080. It will render this. But there are templates, and the HTML file here and the HTML file here is different. Different in a way that in HTML file over here, why? Because it's a template, I will be able to use Java objects over here. I repeat, I will be able to use Java objects here. Once again, I will be able to use Java objects here. We will do that later, not now. In a few minutes, we will be coming to it. First, understand the architecture. Or maybe in some time, no, we are not in a hurry. So yeah, ye pura architecture clear. Now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to start this. And see, I'm going to do few things over here, which will result into no results, or it will give me an error perhaps. Okay, and then you will get to know that, why those errors are there, and then it will further help you to get your concepts clear. What's wrong? Okay, I've already started it, and I'll say localhost 8080. No, so that's what it is not started somehow. Okay, no problem. I'll stop this. The reason being, you remember, I had commented this the other day. So see, this also helps you to understand that your Spring Boot starts with the Spring application.run. And this is the name of the class, which is annotated as Spring Boot application. And that's how your Spring Boot application starts. So let me do away with this entire thing here. And let me start once again. Now you see my Spring application starts as a result of the Spring application.run, and this is the class that it specifies. It is the same class, and it is annotated as Spring Boot application. It starts the embedded Tomcat. Note my words. It starts embedded Tomcat. Tomcat is the server which has an HTTP listener. See, all of this is getting recorded. You can always go back and you can catch each one of these statements of mine. You will get a lot to learn. See what I'm saying? Spring Boot has got an embedded server called Tomcat, and it has got inbuilt HTTP listener. And that listener is listening on which port? Come on, give me the answer. It's listening on which port? 8080. It is listening on 8080. So I have started this. I go back to my Chrome, and you see this here. You see, yeah, I've got this is that index.html. But when I click over here, href is equal to /customers. It goes to /customers, and I get this customers HTML, which is actually in the templates folder. Now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go to controller. I will not give this annotation. I have commented it. Now, my dear friends, it will not even know if there is no such annotation here. Spring Boot will not be aware of the existence of this class. What Spring Boot does is, बहुत अच्छे से सुनो, Spring Boot will scan through all the classes in this package and the sub packages of this package. I will repeat this once again. Spring Boot will scan all the classes within this package and all the packages which are within those packages, sub packages, and it will look for the annotations. If at all there is a class which is annotated with some annotation that it understands, then it will consider that class to be a class that it is supposed to instantiate. It is supposed to create an object of that class. We don't need to create an object of that class. It is Spring Boot that will create the object of that class. We don't have to do it. But since I have commented it, So Spring Boot will certainly scan all the classes in this package. It will scan this class also, but it will not find a controller uh, annotation on top of it. Now see here, I will not get my desired results. Now when I do this, I get 404. When I refresh this, I have refreshed 404. See now also when I click on customers over here, it takes me to customers, but 404 not found. Why? Because this class is now not a class that will be instantiated, the object of which will be created by Spring Boot. No, Spring Boot will not even see this class, it will ignore. If it has not seen this class, needless to say, it will not even see this method. It will not even care to see this method. If it doesn't see this method, there is no mapping for customers. If there is no mapping for customers, Spring Boot says 404, not found. The page is not found. The URL, the pattern, the path is not found. The path is not found. It says. That's what it says. So see 404. Status is 404, not found. So I will make sure that this is indeed. Okay. Now I do this, but then I comment this. Again, the same thing. Now it will see the class. It will create an object of this class. It will keep in memory the object of this class, but it does not have any method. It will not even look at this method. Why? Because I have not annotated this method with @getMapping. I'm not adding extra information on that method, telling Spring Boot that, hey, this is the method that must be executed when the path is /customers. I'm not saying that. I have commented this. Again, I'm going to get exactly the same error. See this. I click on customers, it says 404. So I will go back and I will uncomment this, of course. But then after uncommenting, what I do is that instead of returning customers, I'll say return yabadabadu. Okay. I'm doing this. Now, again, it will not be able to find any .html file with this primary name and templates folder. So see this again. Now, when I say customers, see again, it says 500. Why it is 500? Because the path is found. It executed the method. It tried to search for this template. But now the template is not found. The path is found. Template is not found. That is the reason why it gives me this error. See, the error starts from here. Error resolving template yabadabadu. There is no such template in the templates folder called yabadabadu. There must be some file yabadabadu.html. It is unable to find one, and hence. So I'll go back and make it as customers. Now you understand the flow, how it works. See, now when I say refresh again, and I go back, and now when I say refresh /customers, here I am. Any doubts, any questions here, friends? Feel free to ask questions if you have any. Any questions? It is the same thing, my dear friends, that we are doing here in Django as well. There is a mapping here also. In code, there is something called urls.py, in which we are configuring, say, you include all the, what is this? Path is customers. That means the initial path, यहाँ पे भी architecture different है. Here the architecture is a bit different. Here you are defining an array. URL patterns is an array. This is an array. It's an array of what? It's an array of path objects. It's an array of paths, correct? So see this path is actually a method. Where is this? You know, this is the method that is there in that Django.urls. Can you see this path, defined path? What it returns back is a URL pattern. देखो, आपके साथ सीख रहा हूं मैं. I am learning along with you. Yes, you have URL pattern. What is returned back by this method is a URL pattern. So what is the statement I'm going to make, friends? This is an array of URL patterns. Each and every object in an array here is a URL pattern. If I create my own array called names is equal to, and if I say Shakir, comma, and I say Noman, comma, and I say Farhan. Okay, what is this? This is an array of string. If I say age is equal to, And if I say 54, comma, 1, comma, 32, what are this? What is this? This is an array of integers. Likewise, here, what will be the right statement? If path is the function that returns a URL pattern, and if I have multiple paths, this is an array with a square bracket. That means you are defining an array. What does this mean? This is an array of URL pattern objects. Yes or no?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes.
और जरा भी डरने का नहीं, जरा भी नहीं डरने का, बिंदा यू क्लिक करने का, सोर्स कोड में जाने का, डरने का नहीं, राइट? नहीं समझ में आया तो नहीं समझ में आया, उसमें क्या हो. सो यू सी दिस इज द पाथ व्हाट इट रिटर्न्स बैक हियर. सी दिस, यहाँ पे कोलन है, दे हैव नॉट रियली मेंशन दैट, बट देन अदरवाइज व्हाट इट रिटर्न्स बैक इज अ यूआरएल पैटर्न. सी दिस, रिटर्न यूआरएल पैटर्न. आई विल क्लिक ऑन दिस यूआरएल पैटर्न, right? I'll click on this. समझ में आता है, it's a class. So here, what does this mean? This URL patterns is the array of URL pattern objects. Each and every object is an object of a class called URL pattern. What are the properties of it? Pattern, callback method, default arguments, and name. These are the properties of that class. Simple है. आपके साथ सीख रहा हूं मैं. This is the very first time I am seeing this class URL pattern. Correct. This is so very simple. Don't get scared of getting into the source code of whatever framework you're using at the time of learning. And at the time of doing the project also, you will get a lot to learn and you will be able to build classy software. देखो ये तो, you are either supposed to be among top 10% talent or else give up software engineering, do something else. There is no harm in that, no बुराई. कोई जरूरी नहीं है हर एक को सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर बनना है. कुछ भी दूसरा बिजनेस कर सकते हैं, कुछ दूसरा कर सकते हैं लाइफ में. एंड मे बी you become such a big करोड़पति there that you hire software engineers like us, you pay us. So ऐसा कोई जरूरी नहीं है कि सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर इज, ऐसा नहीं है. Everyone is blessed with different talent. If you do not find yourself enjoying writing code and understanding technology and stuff and all, maybe you are made for something else. There is no harm. Let no one tell you that you are not good for programming. Tell him that, okay, I may be good in something else and do that. But if you are in this, make sure that you are in top 10%. Your top 10% में आने के लिए, it is very important that you understand the details of it. Okay, so here we are. Now it's an array, so I can have multiple paths defined. And what it does is that path route is customers. This is the function. It will return to me a URL pattern, object, and that URL pattern object will contain, all the URLs and stuff. And then it says include. See, path has got something called include. Include what? Include the URLs that are there in this particular URL. See, this URLs. Okay, I was expecting that when I control click over here, it takes me to that, but it is not, which is okay. I'll go to apps. Where is apps? This is apps. Customers. Where is customers? Within apps, customers. Within customers, URL. So I'll go to customers and then here you see URLs.py. Got it. Maybe because the, let me check, open modules and facets. No facets. Okay. Answer. IntelliJ settings. I'm just trying to search for the plugin, and that is a Django plugin. And
Sir, it was
sorry.
it was a string. That's why you are not able to find it.
Oh, sorry,
Sir,
sorry.
it was a string. It was a string you were searching for.
सर वैसे में पाथ नहीं मिल पाता है
Yes,
स्ट्रिंग.
sir, वो स्ट्रिंग है, वो पाथ नहीं मिलेगा स्ट्रिंग में. apps.customer.url स्ट्रिंग के अंदर है.
मेरे दूसरे मशीन्स पे मिलता है.
सर पाइथन में काम नहीं करता, हमें भी ऐसा कभी मिला
सर
नहीं.
पाइथन में मैंने करके देखा है, उसमें होता नहीं है ये.
अच्छा देखो, ये प्रोजेक्ट में देखते हैं. ओके, गुड पॉइंट, गुड पॉइंट. लेट्स सी मे बी आई एम मिसिंग अ पॉइंट. मे बी ये देखो, आई गो टू कोर, हियर आई गो टू यूआरएल्स एंड देन हियर सी.
सर मैं गलत था इसमें.
जी.
यस सर. हाँ. Yes, we were wrong. हम भी आज तक कभी मिला नहीं था मेरे।
मैंने चलाया नहीं था इसमें।
हाँ, ये चलता है सब ये। अच्छा, ये किसका फीचर है? दिस इज द फीचर ऑफ द आईडीई, इंटेलिजे का फीचर है। दिस इज द फीचर ऑफ इंटेलिजे। So somehow over here there is something here. It's the same IDE. So I'm sure the plugin is available in the other instance also. But then there is something missing over here that my see. Can you see there is a Django structure icon available here? That means in this project it understands that this is a Django project, whereas over here my IDE is unable to identify this project as a Django project.
यस सर।
अगर उसको ये समझ में आ जाता कि दिस पाइथन प्रोजेक्ट इज एक्चुअली अ जांगो प्रोजेक्ट, then it would have definitely given me that feature of taking me to the URL. So it becomes easier for me. So what is it that makes this project a Django project? I'll just minimize this for now. क्या है ऐसा यहाँ पे? What it does? What is it that it makes Django structure? Okay. Maybe there's some like I'm not sure, and I don't want to waste your time, waste time. अब मैं आप लोगों का टाइम खराब नहीं करना चाह रहा हूँ. So that is the reason. But otherwise, that's so see, it's very clear. It's Django over here, but then here I don't see that at all. Okay, so view two tools Django. Hey, ठीक है. So let me check just one last time your facets. Let's enable framework detection. Let me go back here and let me check modules. Modules. It's a Django project. It's a Django module development.py is already here. And facets. See, there is a facet called Django out here. How do I get this facet? How do I get this facet? Settings, modules, Django. And here, right mouse, open module settings, modules plus import of module. Okay, मैं बाद में देख लूंगा. I don't want to spend time doing this. And that was created using a command line which automatically generated the entire Django project for me. That is the reason, so I have all of this here. But otherwise, यहाँ पे मुझे Django का ऑप्शन ही नहीं आ रहा. अच्छा, Python, ये यहाँ ठीक है, but interpreter is this. नहीं मिल रहा. ठीक है, छोड़ो, कोई बात नहीं. ठीक है, it's okay. Fine. So here you see URLs. So I'll just go to this URLs here. Come on, let's continue with our architecturally significant thing. So here you are with the URL. Now in this, again, I have got URL patterns. So what does this help me to understand? That here the architecture is such that you define URL patterns. In case of Spring Boot application, so I'll just close this. I'll just go back again because we need to learn, we need to learn the architecture. Here in this case, how are the patterns identified? Just that you're going to create a class, you've got to annotate that class as @controller, and you're going to define the path here. This is where you define the path. And you say that if this is the path, this is the method that is executed. I hope you're all back with me. Come on. Right? Undivided attention. Huh? See, this is
Yes,
how.
sir.
This is the path.
Yes, sir.
And we are mapping. Great, superb. We are mapping this path to this method. Over here, to start with, this is my Django application. I say, hey, what is the root? Settings mein paste.py. Can you see this root URL configuration? Core.urls. Within core URL. So this is the very first thing that it will pick up. This is the first thing that it will pick up. So urls.py. It has picked up this. Okay, so from here, but I'm including the URLs that are defined somewhere else also. Where is that apps.customers.urls? I go to customers and then I go to URLs here. Here, the mapping slash, and I did not give anything else. So, it becomes just simply a slash customer view. This is how I'm mapping the route. Here, they're calling it a route. Here, they are calling it a path. Okay, na? We will follow the name. When you're in Rome, do what the Romans do. When you're writing Spring Boot application, you call this a path. But when you are writing a Django application, you call it a route, route, whatever. So this is a route, but it's the same thing. And you are mapping it to the method. Here, this is how you map it to the method. And here we are mapping it to the method here, like this customer view. Where is this customer view defined? See this, friends. Within this views folder, I created something called customer_views.py. And here you are customer_view. This is the same method. If I give something else over here, and then I go back here, you see this, it says not found. And if I come in this also, it will say, hey, this is not found. Where is this view? Right? So I just go back here, and then I, of course, change it back to its name. This is how the method mapping is happening. And this is how the method mapping is happening over here. So far, so good. Now, what is the name of this view? Uska view ka naam kya hai? Uska wo method ka. So you give an additional label. I'm sorry, I won't be able to explain further on this to you. If you all know, आप बताओ मुझे ये name का significance क्या है? Usually मैंने जहां देखा है Claude.ai वगैरह, it just gives the same, whatever is the name of the method, that's the name. अगर किसी को पता है तो बता दो, otherwise we will proceed further. कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, सब चीजें पता होना कोई जरूरी नहीं है, पता चलते जाती है, जरूरी है पता चलते जाती है. Okay, no problem. So you've got customer view here. Okay, so the one thing is for sure, this is the path, this is the method that is. Now, what am I going to do in this method? I've just given print statement here, and I'm saying return, render. Here, I just have to return. Well, we are not comparing what is good and what is bad. Anything that brings money for us is good. If we get a Python project, it gives us money, of course, it's good. A Spring Boot project, we are getting money, it's good. Okay, so we are not comparing what is good or bad. Here you have to only say return customer, here you would say render, request. No, this is how the architecture is. This is how it is. So here you just simply say customers, and here it will automatically, your time leaf will look for the templates that are there in the templates folder. By default, the templates folder is the folder which is considered as the folder in which the HTMLs will be looked for. Here in this case, there is a configuration that you need to do. Here there is auto configuration. There is auto configuration. Can you see this? It will by default look for the templates folder. If not found, it will throw this exception saying cannot find template location. Please add some templates, check your time leaf configuration, blah, blah, blah. So there is auto configuration that is happening in Spring Boot over here. Here, I don't know whether there is anything like auto configuration available with Django projects. I don't need to care about it, at least as of now. But here I know that in base.py, we do have a configuration over here, which configures the location of paths. Here it is. Templates. Where are templates? I'm configuring. This is where these are the DIRs in which it will look for the templates. These are the DIRs in which it will look for the templates. So what is that DR? Whatever is the base DR. Base DR is the base DR of my project. Apps, customers, templates. Apps, customer, templates. It will look for the HTML file here. So here, when I go back to my URLs again, and then I go to this view, I am saying render request. This request object, it is of utmost importance that you understand request object, and I'm going to spend 1 full hour on it, inshallah, if required more. I have seen people with 5 years of experience, request, response, their concepts are not clear. पागलों के जैसा कोड लिखते हैं, चलता भी है वो कोड, right? But they end up writing code that is not really neat and clean. So when you don't know the architectural components well, when you do not know the platform that you're using well, and if you do not have these fundamentals clear, somehow you will end up writing code, but that code will not be clean code. Instead of doing things in the right way, you will end up doing it in the wrong way with more lines of code and something that will not perform well. So it's very important. So I'll talk about request later. So render the request object. Now, as of now, but understand it is a request object. This request object will be passed as a parameter to the render method, and you render the customers.html. What is the name of the template? Customers.html. Take a look over here. See this. This is also what? What are you returning? The template, customers.html. What are you returning? Customers.html. Same stuff. Status is equal to 200, saying that everything is okay. If I wanted to return an exception or a problem from here, I would have rendered with 400. Got it? So I will run this also, and I'll just go back here to my terminal. See, when you go to the terminal, when you click on terminal here, you can see there's an option of terminal here. You can just simply run. You don't have to go to the terminal or command prompt. From here itself, you can do this, and I'll say, I don't even have to give source now. It's automatically there. You can see this, it's in the env. The environment is already set. So what I'm going to do here is, what is the command? Python manage.py. Actually, I'm executing manage.py script, and then I'm saying run server. Here you are. The server has started. Can you see this? Quit the server with Control C. Now, when I go back over here, actually, there are warnings here. URL pattern / name is location has a route beginning with a slash. Remove the slash as it is unnecessary. Super. I will abide by these warnings, and I will make sure that everything is. So I go back to my URLs here in customers folder, and I'll remove this. That means no mapping, which is anyways, now see that warning is gone. My friends, the warning is gone. पढ़ने का ये सब. Again, डरने का नहीं. Okay, don't get scared. I'm going to read these warnings. So I go back here, and now I'm going to say localhost, what it is supposed to be 8,000 / customers. Oops. It's running on what? 8,000. Yes, 8,000 /
कस्टमर के बाद स्लैश नहीं आएगा.
हाँ, लेकिन वो ले रहा है, वहां पे मुझे वो खुद से ले रहा है. वो खुद से इसलिए रहा है because it's there in my history. Okay. I'll open another browser. Yes. It's there in the history, so it's automatically taking it up. So, okay, customers management. Here you are. Right, here you go. See, this is my customers.html. Now I'll do one thing. See the way we learned Spring Boot by destroying the configuration, we will do the same thing here and see how it works. I'll go to my base.py and I will comment this. I will not do this configuration. Okay, and I just save it. It has restarted my application automatically. Okay, so I can I clear this console? I cannot clear this console. No, I cannot. Okay, no problem. Okay, so now when I say refresh, okay, still works. It's working from the cache. It's working still. It's coming from the cache. I will delete the cache. I think you started, right?
सर्वर अभी भी चल रहा है सर.
हाँ, server चल रहा है. And I did stop the server, and I say clear, and I'll say Python manage server. I was expecting that this should not run. No. Okay, ये काम करेंगे. We will go to customers.html. We'll remove management from here and we'll see. Oh, it works. Without this also, it works. So how come it understands that the HTML is supposed to be picked up from here? Okay, if I say, suppose, let's see this. This is what I have noticed here. If I say instead of customers, if I say something else, It says not found. This is correct. This is correct. Wow. Okay, we will figure it out. But then we understand that it did not give us that problem. So that means there is some auto. How is that auto configuration possible? How will it know that customers is the folder in apps? It will not know that customers is the folder in apps. Maybe I am missing something. Not maybe, I am definitely missing something. देख लेंगे इसको बाद में, कोई बात नहीं. So I'll just go back over here and I'll say customers and here you are. Chalo, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and let's go to URLs out here. And let's comment this URL pattern, suppose. Okay, and now when I say refresh, now see it says not found. Why? Because I have not mapped the customer slash. Okay, over here in base.py, here the core URLs is this. The core.urls is this. So it goes over here. And here, this is the route. This is the starting route, customers. And then it includes all the URLs. So all the URLs within this, whatever is defined here will be followed by customers. What I mean to say is that suppose if I go to URLs here, and of course I, uncomment, if I say slash XYZ, then how will I be able to reach to customer view, friends? I will have to say customers slash, say this, only customers will not do, slash what? XYZ. Take a look. I hope you're getting this point. So the URLs actually starts from here. So customers, this is the main route for all the routes that are defined in this URLs.py file. I hope we are all on the same page.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So yeah. Okay, so here also it says you don't need to give a slash out here. Okay, now this is, okay, is it? No, I will have to either give a slash here or else I'll have to give a slash here. It's better that I give a slash here like this. Now what will happen is customer slash XYZ. See this. Sorry. Customer slash XYZ. But if suppose I do not give any path here in URLs at all, suppose I do not give any path, that means no path, just the customers. Now this will give me an error, but if I remove XYZ from here, it will give me. And you see this, it is, yeah, perfect. This is how it is. Right. So this is how the mapping happens. This is how the mapping happens here. This is how the template is resolved and the templates are available here. I was expecting that when I remove this os.path.join, it will not be able to find the template in the templates folder. एक काम करते हैं. Let me rename this to something else. Okay. And it has, I will restart once. Okay, there is a 500 error. Why? Because it is trying to look for the folder called templates. It is trying to look for the folder called templates. Now, what I'm going to do here is that I will give the name of the folder templates XYZ over here. XYZ. I hope आप सब लोग मेरे साथ हैं. समझ में आ रहा है? Here we are defining the templates, right? So let me check this. Okay, it has restarted automatically. Now when I say refresh, it has taken out. That means this is meaningful. What does this mean is if I do not give this, by default, it will look for the folder called templates in that same app. So customers is the app that is defined in that it will look for the folder templates automatically. We don't, even if I do not define it over here, it will take it. This is what I understand. See, local apps.custom. It काम करता है. Refactor, rename. I'll once again make it templates. समझने में बहुत मजा आता है. Okay, I have made it templates back again over here. And then now again go back and I say refresh. It works. I will comment this. I will comment this. I will remove this. Okay, so only Django apps. Local apps, I did not tell Django that this is my local application, it's my app. I did not say that. Now, and I will also comment this. Now let's see. Yes. Sabash, Shakir, sabash. See, it was because of this local apps configuration and because of installed apps is equal to Django apps as well as local apps. Django considered this as an app in which it automatically looked for the folder called templates. In such a case, I don't have to explicitly define this. And it worked. Now I have commented this as an app. In such a case, it gave me an error. I will do one more thing. I will keep it commented here. That means I'm not telling Django that customers is one of my apps in Django. I will go here and now I will explicitly define the templates folder. And now when I come back over here, I get it. Superb. Subhanallah. I have to. So, okay. Now, can you transliterate this in English? कोई है ऐसा जो मेरे लिए मुझे explain करेगा ये? मेरे समझ में आ गया लेकिन explain करो चलो. मुझे at least 3 लोग चाहिए. One from the girls side, one from the boys side. At least 2 people explaining this to me. About the templates folder, about the configuration of the templates folder, which will contain the HTML files. बताइए.
Sir, Django has its own default setting that it will lead us to template folder if requested. Means if you command this os.path.join for template, automatically lead us there because the local app we have defined, it will search within the local app that is there any folder name template or not. That means we don't have to give its specific location. It will take automatically the default location for templates. Okay.
Yes, very good. Excellent. So it will, that means there is auto configuration here also.
Yes, sir.
It is just that I have to tell Django that this is one of my apps, apps.customers. ये मेरा ऐप है.
Yes, sir.
है ना? तो अब मुझे यहाँ पे अगर मैं इसको बोल दूं कि दिस इज माय एप्स, जैसे अगर मैं इसको अनकमेंट कर दूं, अभी दिस इज द नाउ इंस्टॉल्ड एप्स इंक्लूड्स, नॉट माय वर्ड्स, installed app includes, installed apps includes, I'm using plural, includes my local application as well. And there can be multiple customers. I can have many apps here. So that means it's included. Now I don't have to explicitly define this because it will automatically look for a folder called templates in the apps. It's considering that as a valid app. I go back here and I'm getting this. See, refresh, it works. But if I, of course, if I change the name of the folder here, it will
will
give
not
me an
follow the
error.
default folder.
Yeah, because it will not be able to find the default one. XYZ, if I do this, now it will not be able to find the default one. Okay, I have to restart because I have changed the name of the folder. See, 500. There is an issue. So I go back over here and I will change this to it. And this is as same as refactor, rename here also, my dear friends, in templates. And then now here also in Spring Boot also. This is the default name of the folder that it considers having your HTML. Here also, if I do XYZ, okay, and now when I go back here, of course, I'll have to restart my application here, my Spring application, Spring Boot. I go back to Chrome and I go back here to my localhost 8080. 8080 is for Spring Boot. And if I say refresh, it gives me an error. Same 500. Ye dekho. Status is 500. Whenever there is an internal server error happening, that means there is something that has gone wrong internally in your framework, in your application. It will throw 500. Status code will be, this is the status code of the response, 500. I go back here. I go back, I say refactor, rename, and I make it templates. Cool. I restart. Here you are. It works on 8080 also, and here also it is supposed to work. I have changed the name of the folder once again. I better restart my application. Here you are. Works like a charm. Again, I'll go back here. Tell me if you have any questions. Now, one person from girls, please explain this concept of local apps and the default folder templates and the configuration part here. Come on. Anyone? They are discussing, they are deciding who will say. Tum bola, tum bola, tum. Any one of you, come on, come on. You want me to call out Subhana? Come on, you tell me, Subhana. Sorry? नहीं, आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही है. आवाज नहीं आ रही है. Okay, Shilpa, are you there on the call, Shilpa?
No, sir.
Okay, she's not there. Who else is there? Anju, you're there, Anju?
No, sir. They are having their exam.
Oh, okay. What about Naz? Naz, you're there?
यस सर.
हाँ, आप एक्सप्लेन करोगे?
सर मुझे थोड़ा थोड़ा जस्ट समझ आया, मैं बता सकती हूँ.
जितना समझ आए उतना बता दो, कोई नहीं.
इसमें हमने एप्स में एक और ऐप बनाया है, कस्टमर, और फिर हम उसमें लोकल एप्स भी डिफाइन कर रहे हैं.
जी, you're right. See,
और
with
फिर
this
उन एप्स में
configuration,
हमें
जी, बोलिए,
जी
बोलिए. जी, tell me.
फिर हमें जब वो लोकल ऐप को अ, चाहिए रहता है, हमें वो लोकल ऐप हम उसको इंस्टॉल्ड ऐप में कॉल कर देंगे और फिर टेम्पलेट्स में वो शो होने लग जाता है.
करेक्ट. सी, पॉइंट ये है कि अगर आपने जैंगो को बोला है कि ये मेरे एप्लीकेशंस है, तो वो ऑटोमेटिकली उसके अंदर फोल्डर सर्च करेगा कॉल्ड टेम्पलेट्स इन ऑर्डर टू रिजॉल्व द एचटीएमएल फाइल्स. एचटीएमएल फाइल्स का लोकेशन वो ऑटोमेटिकली टेम्पलेट्स में ही ढूंढेगा. राइट? अगर आपने ये नहीं डिफाइन किया है तो देन आपको एक्सप्लिसिटली ये डिफाइन करना पड़ेगा यहां पे, और जैंगो को बोलना पड़ेगा कि मेरे टेम्पलेट्स जो है वो यहां पर ये सो एंड सो फोल्डर के अंदर है. एप्स के अंदर कस्टमर्स के अंदर टेम्पलेट्स. Right? That's how it is. Simple. Okay. Perfect. So this is how it is. So I don't need to do this configuration. I will just, I'll just simply say apps.customers and I've got views. This works. Fantastic. Perfect. Okay. So I hope. Now let's proceed further. Now we will do what, we will just push all the code that we have written further discussions on how Django works is done. This is the commit message that I'm putting. We are on 12.8. Okay, there is yet another thing that I will cover, and then we will talk about request also. Okay, here also let me comment all that I have done. I mean, sorry, comment further discussion on how templates and path mapping works. Okay, ये भी मैं आपको push कर देता हूँ so that the latest code is there in the main branch itself. Perfect. अभी let's proceed further. Now let's do यही सब अभी हमें करना है node में. Now node is by itself, it's a complete framework. It's a library that helps us to execute TypeScript server side. Rather, TypeScript, or you can actually TypeScript gets transpiled into JavaScript, and let me say JavaScript server side. I repeat, it helps you to execute JavaScript server side. That's what it helps us to do. Node creates an environment for us. Like Java creates an environment, Spring Boot creates an environment, Django creates an environment, but Spring Boot and Django still it's a bit of more higher level. Node is a library that helps us to execute JavaScript server side. When I say server side, not in the browser, but on the command line. Try and understand this. थोड़ा सा यहाँ पे effort आपको डालना है to understand how, because here, see, this is how the diagram will go like, here. I've got Java, Spring Boot, Python. On top of Python sits Django. But here in this case, okay, I will have to have a different. So I have this. These are all programming languages. I'll put them with in the same color. These are all programming languages. Now
Yes,
on
sir.
top of this, there is something called Node, which is not as same as this. This is which is so. I'll do one thing. I'll put this in the same color. They are similar. That means the kind of services, the kind of features it offers is similar. But Node is very different. Node by itself does not offer all the features that Django and Spring Boot offers. Hence, I'll put this in a different color altogether. And I'll say Node. Node creates an environment. This does not create an environment. This is a framework. Spring Boot and Django is a framework. Node is the runtime environment all by itself. Here, the runtime environment, this Python is the runtime environment. This Java is the runtime environment. Runtime. Okay, I'll just say runtime. This is the runtime environment. But Node over here is not a runtime environment. Sorry, TypeScript is not a runtime. TypeScript does not have its own runtime environment. Yes, that's the point. That's the point. TypeScript, I'll write in bold out here, does not have its own runtime. I'll just say does not have runtime environment. है ही नहीं उसके पास. है ही नहीं उसके पास. When I write a .java file, I'll say Java space. Suppose the name of the .java file is demo.java, which has got public, static, void, main function. So I will use, how will I execute this? I will execute it like this. I'll say Java space, and I will say demo after compiling it, of course. After compiling it, I'll say Java demo. So what does this mean? Java will provide a runtime environment to execute the public static void main written in the Java file there. We are all on the same page with respect to Java, at least. We are on the same page.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Python is a runtime environment. It's an interpreter. Python is an interpreter. And then it itself, the moment you have it automatically does the interpretation and starts the runtime environment also. यहाँ पे एक additional step है. चलो, ठीक है. यहाँ पे क्या step है? You'll say Java C demo.java. This will result into creation of a class, and it is that class that you will be, let's get it from here. It is that class that you will be running with the help of Java. So first you need to compile. Well, in the latest versions of Java, you don't need to compile. You can use it exactly just Java बोल के demo बोल दोगे तो चलेगा वो. It will work without first compiling it. It automatically does the compilation and runs it as same as Python. The latest versions of Java does that. But still, you compile the .java file. You get a .class. What will you get after seeing Java C demo.java? Come on, what is it that you're going to get? You're going to get demo.class. It is this demo.class which is executed with the help of Java. So Java provides a runtime environment. Java is a runtime environment. Python. Suppose if I have demo.py, always follow the naming convention of the programming language that you're working with. Demo.py आपने बना दिया. Now you don't have to create a class out of it or some kind of a thing. No, you just directly say what instead of Java, like over here. Here you will say Python. You'll say Python and you'll say demo.py. It will automatically do the compilation. You don't have an additional step here, and it will automatically. So interpret, it will do the interpretation, it will do the internal compilation, it will run the code for you. It will run demo.py. So who's providing the runtime environment? Python. But here in this case, if I write something like demo.js, if I write this, there is nothing over here like JavaScript space demo.js or TypeScript space demo.js. There is nothing, no such thing. There is no such thing. If you want me to show this in action, okay, CD trainings, okay, I'll say vi demo.java. Makes sense? I'll say public class, and I'll say demo. Just open and close bracket here, and here I'll just write hello words. I'll say public static void main string arguments. This is the signature I need to follow. And here you are. Hello world, simple hello world. System dot out dot println. I'll say hello. That's it. I'll have to do what in order to run it? Java C demo.java. Done. I'll get ls demo. You see this? You see this? I've got .class file created out of the demo.java as a result of Java C. I compiled it. See, I just explained compiling it and then running it. I have the runtime environment provided by Java. I'll say demo. It runs. Hello. Likewise, I say vi demo.py. Okay, it has got its own construct. I may create a class, I may not create a class, and then I write a main function or whatever. I'll just simply execute, I'll write print. Sorry. I'll say print and I'll say hello. Now, if I want to execute this, I just simply need to say Python 3 and I'll say demo. Sorry, demo.py. It executes hello. Here you are. Executes. Who is providing the runtime environment? Python. Now, if I write vi demo.js, and if I write over here console.log hello, who's going to on earth execute this for me? Can I say JavaScript demo.js? No, there is no such runtime environment called JavaScript. Can I say TypeScript? Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. There is no runtime environment. I need a runtime environment. I need something that executes my Java code, Java runtime environment. I need something to execute my Python code, Python runtime environment. I need something to run my demo.js, my JavaScript code, server side. I'm not talking about the browser. Am I talking about the browser or I'm on the command prompt? I'm on the server side. Tell me.
On the server side.
On the server side. तो यहाँ पर मुझे runtime चाहिए. I need a runtime here. That runtime is provided by, let me check node version. I have 23 version. I'll say node space demo.js. Hopefully. Yeah, it works. So language here, TypeScript is the language, but it does not have a runtime. That runtime is provided by what? Come on.
Node.
Node.
And you have to install Node. Like you install Java, you will have to install Node. Complete node is written in which programming language?
JavaScript.
नहीं उसका अपना I think node I think so. Let me answer your question with the help of Cloud.ai. Achha, not knowing something is also okay, huh? That's fine. What is node runtime environment built in? Which language? बहुत सारा उसका जावास्क्रिप्ट में ही लिखा होगा, but then actually runtime environment JavaScript does not have a runtime environment. Oh, possible. देखो C में है, देखो built in C++. Core components heavily utilize C++, while Node.js APIs and application code are written in JavaScript. पूरा का पूरा code possible नहीं है. The V8 engine, which is Node's JavaScript engine, is also written in C++. That's how it is, right? So coming back over here, I'm look broader diagram. Sorry, I'm not using this. Yeah, right? So you need a runtime environment here. So that node provides the runtime environment here. Node provides the runtime. Node provides the runtime environment. आप लोग फर्क समझ में आ रहा है ना ये तीन चीजों में? This is your node runtime environment. Now this node runtime environment, so I will put this also in the same color. No, what color is this? So I'll just put this, same color. Now on top of node, I want the features like Django offers. I want features like Spring Boot offers. So by itself, node is just a runtime environment. Like Java is the runtime environment, Python is the runtime environment. You need a framework so that you can build APIs. You need a framework so that you can render HTML files. You need a framework like Django and Spring Boot here in this world also, in TypeScript world also. You need. That is provided by what? What is, who provides that kind of an environment? देखो color same है, देख रहे हो आप? See, who provides? चलो 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 आंसर करो. Next.js. Next.js provides that kind of runtime, not runtime, sorry, this is the runtime environment. This provides the framework. This provides the framework. So now, if I say that using Spring Boot, I can build APIs, I can render HTML, I can use Java and HTML together, I can build dynamic websites, I can write services, this, that, in Spring Boot. Plain Java तो नहीं ना, आपको कोई framework चाहिए, you use Spring Boot. यहाँ पे Python is a state of the art programming language, but then in order to be able to, ये सब जो features चाहिए ना आपको, ये सब features चाहिए ना आपको, that see, I must be able to do this setting. After doing this setting, I must be able to, it must automatically check for the HTML and templates, and then I must be able to define views. I must be able to define this, ये पूरा, and must render HTML. Plain Python project में तो HTML से render नहीं हो जाएगा ना. You need a framework. So that framework is what? Django. And similar things if you want. In TypeScript world, in JavaScript world, you need to use a runtime environment node, and you need to use a framework like Django. You've got a framework here in this world called Next.js. So far, so good. Now I'm going to create similar. So whatever we've done in Spring Boot up till now, whatever we have done in Django up till now, we are going to do the same thing in Next.js. Node is already installed on my machine. Like I've got Java, Python, Node. Okay, so I have Next.js. So I will create an application Next.js. अब अच्छा, अभी क्या करेंगे हम लोग? Next.js का application भी हम लोग scratch से बना सकते हैं, जैसे Django का बनाया हमने. But I will fumble here and there. Actually, not a big deal. It's just that we need to create a package.json file. No big deal. अच्छा चलो बताओ. Where are the dependencies configured in Spring Boot? जल्दी बताओ, जल्दी बताओ, जल्दी बताओ. Where are the dependencies of external libraries are configured in Spring Boot? Which file?
Form.xml.
Excellent. Here in case of Django, where are external libraries configured that we can install using pip?
Requirements.txt.
Requirements.txt. Excellent. And in case of node-based applications, whether Next.js or anything else, I may not use Next.js and I may use AngularJS. I may use a latest version of Angular. And in Angular also there is server-side rendering. We'll talk about server-side rendering later. But I could have used not Next.js but Angular. यहाँ पे भी ना बहुत ये है. Next.js, on top of Next.js, what you have is, so here I will again change the color and I'll say React.js. This is the library, React.js. But otherwise, Angular की एक अलग ही दुनिया है, मैं आपको वो भी बाद में बताऊंगा. But so far, React.js, Next.js. I don't want to confuse you with a lot of things. So if I have to create a node-based application, whether directly in React.js or with Next.js and React.js, what is the significance of Next.js? We'll discuss later. But the node-based अगर है, so then here the project will contain something called package.json. यहाँ पे form.xml file है. Form.xml file for dependency management. Here you have, as a configuration of dependencies, here you have requirements.txt file. And here, come on, what is it that you will be having in your Next.js application? What is it that you will be having? Package.json.
Package.json.
Right, exactly. ये पापा मजा आ रहा है ना आप लोगों को सबको? समझ में आ रहा है?
Yes, sir.
मैं बाद में निकाल लूंगा शबीर भाई, ठंडा हो जाएगा नहीं तो. Thank you. Correct. So what I'm going to do here is that, so I could have created right from the scratch, but I will not. I will not. I could have created right from the scratch, but I'll use the command line utility that is provided by. So I'll go to my front end, build your application with Next.js. Okay, so I'll go to installation. Installation क्या है? Node होना चाहिए बस. ये देखो, node चाहिए. What else? You don't need anything else. And then here you are on the terminal. This is the command that you're going to give. npx create next hyphen app. This is the name of your application. I mean, sorry, this is the name of your artifact that you will be creating, and you're saying latest. So npx latest. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'll go back, idea projects, trainings. Okay. So we have created these projects. Java project plain, then Django, and then Python project, and then Spring training, right? Spring, Django we have done, right? Plain Python भी किया हमने, Java पे Spring भी किया, Django भी किया. अब we are going to do this. It will create a project for us. Simple. I will drop this. Right? I'll go back to my terminal. It is good. Now see, it will ask some few questions to me. Do you want to proceed? Need to install the following packages. Create next. Yes, I'll say, Baba, install karo, please. Now it will start installing. What is the name of your project? I'll say me caps 3.0 next.js. Okay. Do you want to use TypeScript or JavaScript? I'll TypeScript. अगर आप no बोल दोगे तो JavaScript, I'll say TypeScript. Yes. Do you want linting process? Linting is the process which helps you to, in your IDEs, it will show you where all you have made mistakes. I'll say yes. Do you want to use Tailwind CSS? Well, I'll give yes. Would you like your code inside SRC folder? Yes. Sub default. App router चाहिए? Yes. Please do select app router only. Turbo pack for next dev? No. ये मुझे पता नहीं क्या है. Customize the import alias? Okay. No दिया है उसने. ठीक है, रखेंगे. Whatever is the default now. ठीक है, ये हो गया. Now it's creating the application for me. Okay. Almost done. Okay, done. Okay, so here you are. A folder is created called mecaps 3.0 next.js. You can see that I'll say cd mecaps 3.0 next.js. Here you are. And you will see for yourself, my dear friends, no big deal here. It is just that it has created some configuration files over here. And the most important here is package.json. If I show you that package.json file, here it is. It looks like this. Here you are with all the dependencies. It is dependent on React, React DOM, next library is here, and so on. See, that's it. I will open this application again in my IntelliJ. So I'll say file open. And okay, so trainings, mecaps next.js, I'll say open. Last time also, I remember we had done this actually. Okay, so here you are, SRC folder. Now here the life is really very fantastic. So with Spring, there is one way of working with Spring Boot, another way of working with Django. Here it's all the more a cakewalk. It doesn't mean, again, we are not here to decide which is good and which is bad. Anything that brings money to us, anything that generates revenue for us is good for us. Okay, so see SRC, within that you've got an app folder here. By default, within the app folder, the moment I launch, there is something called page.tsx. This is the standard name that you're supposed to give in Next.js. This is the standard name that you're supposed to give to the page that will be rendered with the help of a route. कुछ configure नहीं करना है मुझे. I just have to stop. So I'll just go back to my terminal here. And here, how do I start? How did I start Spring Boot? Through my IDE, I started Spring Boot. How did I start Django project? I said Python space, manage.py space, run server. Here, I just have to say npm run dev. npm is the node package manager. And I say run dev. The script, dev script gets executed. Here you are. This is running on which port? Port 3000. Spring Boot 8080. Whereas, actually, you all have access to this file, right? Say yes. You all have access to this file, na? Ye wala file.
No, sir.
I have shared it with you all. मैंने शेयर किया था, मैम. See, anyone with the link? Here you are. I have again shared it. Now, next time, don't tell me no, sir. Okay. So see this. Here, Spring Boot, it runs on which port? Come on. Which port? 8080?
8080.
Correct. Here, Django runs by default. You can always change. But by
8000.
default runs on 8000.
8000.
And this by default Next.js, it runs on what?
3000.
3000. Right? This is where it runs. So here you go. And here you are on the terminal. Okay, it's running on 3000. So I go back here and I'll just simply say localhost 3000. This is the page that is getting rendered as a result of this page.tsx. This page.tsx. ये पूरा CSS वगैरह सब इधर ही. I will remove everything. I'll just remove everything from it. Everything from it. Everything. And I'll just say div def. Here you are. This is my main page. And now here I will say just simply h1/h1. I'll say home. Here you are, home. See? Of course, now what I'm going to do here is that I can put paddings and stuff and all, but then this is layout.tsx. This is very powerful. Layout establishes the layout of the page. Now, everything that will be there in this particular route will be respecting the layout that you have created over here. So here you've got, see, HTML starts from here because this is the main landing. HTML starts from here. Within that, you've got the body. Within the body, you've got children. This children refers to nothing but the content of the page. I repeat, this children here refers to nothing but the content of the page. So I go back here. I'll say class name, everything. I'll remove all of this. And instead, I'll say class name is, I have included Tailwind here. So I will get the classes CSS framework. Tailwind is a CSS framework. So you see this here. I'll just go to Tailwind and you will get to know everything about Tailwind CSS, right? Tailwindcss.com. And say get started. And we say get started. And here you will say utility first fundamentals. And you can see this here. It says P6. Can you see this? This is P6 is used for padding. So I just go back over here and I say P-6, hopefully. I don't know why Tailwind is being used, not used. Okay, it includes global.css, which is this. In global.css, this is what is there. And Tailwind is not included or included. Next.js package JSON. I did mention to you, I did specify, right, that we want to use Tailwind. I think I missed that. I did not use Tailwind. Okay, not a problem. So I can very well do this. I'll just go to layout.tsx and I will say style, though it's not, not that not recommended, but usually we don't do this. I'll say style and I'll say margin, colon, and I'll say 100 pixel. Here you are. It's fine, right? So this is how it is. Now, I want to create customers also. So what I'm going to do here is that, so this is the layout. I'll go to my page.tsx. Here, I'll just give an HR out here. And here, I will make sure that I give href is equal to, I'll say / customers. And here, I'll say customers like this. Customers like this. Now I'll try, and you see this, I'll click on this customers, but it doesn't, it takes me to 404, not found. Here, since I am using Next.js, Next.js got some inbuilt features, wherein if at all a page is not, a route is not found, it will automatically bring up this beautiful interface saying 404, the page could not be found. This is the feature of Next.js. Okay, so I go back here, and then this, I'll say again, style, I'll say, or else I won't give a style here. Rather, I'll give div here. And here I'll say style is equal to, I'll say margin margin hyphen top colon. अच्छा मुझे ये इसमें डालने की जरूरत नहीं है. I'll say margin top colon and I'll say 10 pixel. Okay, so I go back here. You see this? See, there is some space here now. Now, when I say customers, it takes me no. So how do I define a route? How do I define a route over here in Django? Come on, come on. URLs, then include this URL, and then in the URL out here, you see this URLs, and then I define the route. I map it to some method. That's what you do here. In case of Spring Boot, you have to create a class, and you've got to do the mapping / customers. You are defining a path here like this. I hope you are all there with me, friends.
Yes, sir.
How will I define the path here? How will I define the? I just have to create a route. How do I create the route? Within the app folder, my dear friends, I will just simply create a new folder. I'll say directory, plain directory. And I'll give the name of that as customers, whatever I want my path to be. I'll say always that. I'll say whatever my path. In that, I will have to create no other name of the file. It is mandatory as per the principles of Next.js. I create a file, the name of which will be page dot, either TSX or JSX. If you have selected JavaScript as the language, then JSX or else TSX. This is supposed to be the name of the file. Add. Here I'll say export function. This is as same as creating, like, how do you create a class? Public class and the name of the class. Here you say export function. What is the name of the function? I'll say customer page is the name of the function. Export function. Okay. Customer page is the function. Here you are. And here I will return. What would I return? I will return HTML. This is where I'm going to write HTML. I cannot return two elements. So I can just simply also say, I can, you'll find people having that habit of writing div and then returning, but I cannot have two divs over here. That's the why, because you cannot return two values, right? So that is the reason, only one. Within this, you can write now whatever, nested, whatever you want. So I have got the habit of doing this. Some people use React fragment, and then some people use div/div. But then in this, I can keep on writing whatever div. So here I'll say div, and here I'll say customers, or rather I'll say h1, and I'll say customers. Okay, this is all. That's it. I just go back here, Chrome. The default export is not a React function. Export. Here you are, customers. I go back again here. You see this, customers. Yeah, customers. You're on this path. See, so we have created Next.js. Customers here. This is what Django is running. Oh, isn't it running? Let us run Django. So Django is running. Here my React application is running. Here my Spring Boot is running. What's a big deal? What's a big deal? See here. So here also, so in each one of these, what we have done here is we have learned how to render plain, simple HTMLs. All static code. We have not yet built anything that is dynamic. We will do that for sure. We will do that for sure. We are almost on 12:40. I would like to take a pause. I don't think I did anything that is not already there on your machine. Django is as good as Django and it's running on your machine, right? Please confirm Spring Boot and Django applications are running on your machine. Please confirm, all of you.
Yes, sir.
Right? Girls, please confirm.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I want you all to just take a look at this. I've already shared, but I've already shared. Yeah, I've already shared this URL, NextJS. Click on this, stay here, don't go anywhere. We are still there on the call. We are still there on the in this training. So please click there. Pretty simple steps. They have explained the steps also to you over here. I have also executed those steps and shown you. Please start creating an application. Open it in your IntelliJ. Something as simple as this. और कुछ नहीं करना है. ये देखो page.tsx में से जो code already है निकाल दो. Remove all the code that is already there. Make it something as simple as this. And then within app, create a folder called customers. Within customers, you create a page.tsx, which is as simple as this, and page.tsx, which is as simple. Come on, friends, get started. Get started. I want you to start creating a Node.js application, and then we will proceed. Let me know if you have any questions.